Hello, everyone. This is a study question review for the Declaration of the Rights of Man and Citizen. Number one, what does the preamble to this document say are, quote, the sole causes of public misfortunes and corruptions of government? If we look at the preamble, this beginning part here, I'm calling the preamble. Um, the answer is contempt of human rights, the sole causes. Uh, the the ignorance, neglect, or contempt of human rights are the sole causes of public misfortunes and corruptions of government. So, very interesting claim there. Number two, what does two, this the second right enumerated, say is, quote, the end of all political associations? And what does end mean here? Well, if we look at at two, the end of all political associations, an end is the purpose, the goal, the reason for. That's what end means here. It doesn't mean the end as in the end of the day or the end of the movie or something like the time limit. It means end as in purpose, goal, or reason for. So saying the end of all political associations, the purpose of all political associations. What is it? It says it is the preservation of the natural and imprescriptible rights of man. That is, the purpose of all political association is the preservation of our rights. And then, and these rights are liberty, property, security, and resistance of oppression. But the purpose of government is the preservation, the protection of our natural rights. Number three, according to four, what is the only limit to political liberty? Political liberty, it's number four says, consists in the power of doing whatever does not injure another. The exercise of the natural rights of every man has no other limits than those which are necessary to secure to every other man the free exercise of the same rights. So the limit to our natural rights is we should be free to exercise our rights, and the limit is doing something that would um, mean that we are impinging on someone else's rights. The limits are those which are necessary to secure every other man the free exercise of the same rights. So the limits of our natural rights are the rights of others. We can do anything that does not prevent somebody else from exercising their rights. Number four, how does six define law? It's an expression of the will of the community. That's what law is. Law is the incarnation, you might say, in writing of the will of the community or what the community wants. This is actually very close to what Jean-Jacques Rousseau said in The Social Contract, the general will. But the law is the expression of the will of the governed, of the citizens. That's what the law is and should be, according to this document. And then finally, explain how 11 relates to the ideas of Kant in What is Enlightenment. Let's take a look at 11. 11 says the unrestrained communication of thoughts and opinions. Being one of the most precious rights of man, every citizen may speak, write, and publish freely, provided he is responsible for the abuse of this liberty in cases determined by law. So it's a protection of the freedom of speech, what Kant would call the public use of reason. We must be able to speak, write, and publish freely, as long as we're responsible for the abuse of that, like things like libel, slander. So, um, yeah, I think that it relates very closely to what Kant was getting at. That is, a free society that is an enlightened society must have free speech, must have free use, what he called the public use of reason. Where am I? Oh, yeah, so that's it.